Welcome to Vegas Valuations. I'm Jamie.
I'm Ashley.
And on today's episode, we are giving you our Vegas valuation on one of the shows we've been to in Las Vegas. And this one happens to feature maybe the tallest man in comedy.
Really?
Wow, he's a pretty tall guy. And he's really, really funny. Today, we're talking about Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. As mentioned, offering our Vegas valuation on Brad Garrett's Comedy Club located in MGM Grand. If you're new to the channel, how we do this is we have a little bit of a criteria. We're talking about our enjoyment of the show, the duration of the show, the overall vibes, and today's price. We factor all of that in. We spit out our out of 10 Vegas valuation on this show. We do it for experiences. We do it for hotels. And so hopefully that helps you plan your next Vegas vacation wherever you happen to be going. If you're thinking, I need some feedback on some shows or experiences, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because we've done a lot.
We have.
We have done a lot. We've been very fortunate to go to Las Vegas, and we're not those people that like to sit still when we get there. We are right off to shows, right off to dinners, right off to whatever. And we like to kind of check out new experiences. One of the things that I think it's important that we make mention of is that some people, we've had some comments on social media going, really? You're giving this a high score? I won't get into specifics, but it's important to keep in mind that all of our scores are based on the price, right? So if we had to pay a lot of money for this dinner, for this show, for this attraction, it does impact the overall score, and it certainly impacts our thought process on the enjoyment of it.
Well, and again, it's our experience.
It's our experience, right? But for instance, Excalibur, we gave it very high ratings. But you know what? My expectation level going into Excalibur for the first time was rock bottom low because of the price we were paying. And when I saw the price compared to other hotels and the actual experience, it obviously elevates that score as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, there'll be a few of those that are coming up around the bend. For instance, the Bellagio. Pay a little bit more to go there. I'm expecting a lot more in return, but we're off the rails already. Okay, let's talk about MGM Grand and specifically Brad Garrett's Comedy Club.
I enjoyed it. We were fortunate at this show that Brad Garrett actually came.
Yes.
And he was there, so it was pretty neat. That's
something that I think we have to really make very clear, is that you're going to want to, if you're thinking about a comedy show, it is very tough to evaluate any comedy show because it's obviously 100% dependent on the comedians who are taking to the stage. We knew Brad Garrett was going to be there because it says so on the website. He actually was stipulated as one of the hosts or the headliners.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, it's always on the website, so check. If you want to see a comedian that you recognize from TV or from movies or from whatever, check to see who the headlining talent is, because you don't want to be disappointed and pay, you know, a pretty, in some cases, steep price and be like, I didn't recognize any of those people.
If be disappointed.
Yeah, if that's why you're going to the show is to be in front of someone that you recognize from TV, that's going to be hit or miss some days. It's not always going to be the case. If you're just going because you like comedians and you don't care, you're really a big fan of stand-up comedy, then I think you're safe at any comedy venue on the Strip, and we've done all of them now, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so your enjoyment level out of 10, where are we at for this Vegas valuation?
Like a 9?
9 out of 10. I don't think I disagree. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Brad Garrett was phenomenal, but the other comedians they had on stage, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. Mm-hmm. All right, the duration.
I think it was long.
It felt long.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the case, too, with comedians. So let's say you go to an Atomic Saloon, or you go to an Absinthe, or you go to a Cirque du Soleil show. Those are what they are. I mean, they've got it mapped out to the precise second. in terms of how long the show will be. And some comedy clubs also have it mapped out very, very well. But, you know, comedians, if you don't know, when they're on stage, there's a light behind the crowd. That's the red light telling them, hey, it's time to get off the stage and wrap it up. The headliner, though, sometimes has a little bit more of an express lane, and especially if it's Brad Garrett.
Yeah.
And I think Brad Garrett was like, I don't care if that light's blinking. I'm having a good time. And he was leaning into some of the audience.
Yes.
It felt like he was going on. I didn't hate it,
No.
but it was definitely probably one of the longer shows we've ever been to in Vegas.
Yeah.
And what made it kind of unfortunate is that the seating wasn't 100% comfortable. We were at those bar top.
Yeah.
So those tall chairs, tall tables.
And they do squeeze you in there.
They do squeeze you in.
Yeah.
So after about, it felt like it was a 2-hour show. After about 95 minutes, I was like, I got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So the duration, what are you giving it?
Like a 7.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I wasn't hating. I want to specify. Brad Garrett was so good.
Yes.
He was so funny. And if you recognize him from, let's say, Everybody Loves Ray, this is not that Brad Garrett. I got to tell you, he's pretty vile at times. So keep that in mind if you're hoping, I'm going to go in for some wholesome comedy.
No.
No.
Adult comedy.
I really, really enjoyed Brad Garrett so much that when the headliner actually came out, because Brad Garrett was just the host that night, I was like, this guy's pretty good, but let's get back to Brad Garrett now.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, the duration, was it a little long? Yeah. Would I still go back?
Yes.
Even knowing that Brad Garrett was, on stage and has a tendency to maybe go a little longer than anticipated? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 seems totally fair. The vibes of the overall club. And it is a comedy club. It's got, I've been to so many comedy clubs, not just in Vegas. I love stand-up comedy. It feels like a stand-up comedy club.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you are kind of squished in there. It's not super comfortable, but the vibe itself is good. We had fun. The vibe was awesome. The comedians were great. Everything was really good. Drinks were pricey.
Yeah.
Very pricey.
And this is where we're not talking about show tickets when we give the actual, or we will talk about the price of the show, but the drinks don't really get into the price of the show because we don't know if you're going to drink or not. We like to have a few drinks whenever we go to a show, and I would put them up there as maybe some of the most expensive drinks we've ever had a show. When the bill came at the end of that, I was like, holy crap, no, I already paid for my tickets.
Yeah.
I paid for my tickets before I got in here. Yeah. I think you screwed up. No, these are just the drinks. And I think we got 2 each.
Yes.
Or maybe I got 3. They are very good drinks.
They are very, very good drinks.
Maybe some of the best drinks we've ever had at a show.
Yeah, we both walked out of there
feeling pretty good. Yeah, we were feeling pretty good. But keep that in mind, the drinks are a little pricey. And I'm not just talking about compared to other towns. Vegas itself is pricey in terms of drinks. But other shows, definitely, it's higher up. But the vibes,
they're good.
Yeah, again, it felt like a comedy show.
Yep.
And I am very, very happy overall. What do you give the vibes out of 10?
A 9.
9. So we've got 9 for enjoyment, 7 for duration, and 9 for the vibes. And next, we got to talk about today's price. How we're getting this information is we're going right through MGM Resorts website. A couple of reasons why. Keep in mind, we haven't signed into the resort's website, but we are such firm believers of if you're booking anything within an MGM or even a Caesars property, get the card, become a member of the program, and book your shows through the website because it will result in you picking up reward points. So that's the way we typically book, and you might be able to find tickets for Brad Garrett's cheaper other places, maybe Vegas.com. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen Brad Garrett's on Vegas.com.
I think I have.
Have you? Okay. You might be able to find them cheaper than what we're about to reference, but even for us, and we tend to be a little frugal in terms of looking for the best deal, I've learned enough now that I don't book any in-resort shows if we happen to be members of that resort through third-party sites because I want those points. I want to move up. It is Sunday, March 3rd, so let's just open up that day, and it looks like They start at $59.95 and go all the way up to $79.95. And they've got this premium zone as well if you really want to sit close. I don't ever want to sit close to the comedy show.
No.
Just a pro tip.
They will rip you apart.
Yeah. I mean, I am always leery. I've got a great sense of humor. I can, take a few jabs thrown my way, not a big deal. That's my waking nightmare, is being ripped apart by a stand-up comedian.
We'll talk about it one day, but the Comedy Cellar,
oh my God.
At the front there.
Man. So if you've never been to a comedy show, maybe just sit in the back for the first few until you're really comfortable with sitting up there. But there's your price, $59 to $79. That's not terrible.
I'm not thrilled with the price of that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and would I spend it again if we wanted to go? Absolutely. But we have spent way less money going to different comedy shows, and we had just as fun.
Yeah, okay, and that's probably, I know every time I reference another experience that we haven't talked about yet on the channel, she's like, don't ruin it. I'm not ruining it, but I think it does offer, that's sort of the hope that people understand. We've done a lot in Vegas, so we can actually kind of compare apples to apples. And in this case, let's compare the apples that are stand-up comedy shows. This one's pretty high priced compared to some of the other ones you're going to find on the Strip.
Even Jimmy Kimmel, it was quite a bit less.
Yeah, we saw Tim Meadows, which, again, not the biggest name anymore, but it was like half the price. So keep that in mind. If you want to go to a comedy show, and actually the cheapest comedy show that you're going to find in terms of in a casino or a resort is over at Rio, the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, that one was also really good.
Yeah, if you're looking at dipping your toes into the world of stand-up comedy in Vegas, I'd recommend the Comedy Cellar, though the headliners won't be as namely as some of the other places. But you're right. I think that's important that we point out that even at $59.95, the base rate for this ticket on the MGM website, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So with all of that in mind, we've got the price, we've got the enjoyment, the duration, the vibes. What are you giving the overall Vegas valuation for Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in MGM Grand?
I would say an 8.
An 8. I don't disagree. Yeah, I thought it was actually a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I think, and this is probably, we should put an asterisk. We should put that little star thing. If Brad Garrett wasn't there that night, I don't know if our enjoyment level would have been as high.
Yeah.
And there are nights that he's not there, but you can check who's headlining on the website. Make sure you're well aware and you're doing a little bit of research. Because if you're expecting, it's called Brad Garrett, he's got to be there. Nope. There will be times that he is not, and you might be sorely disappointed. But because Brad Garrett was there, because we had a great time, because the drinks were very good, if not very expensive, I'm okay with an overall 8 out of 10.